Hello everyone, it is me Sasha Kawaii Cat, and today's video is going to be a little different from the content I usually make, because I'm going to be talking about something I never thought I'd ever have to make a video about, which is art theft and tracing. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you are already aware of what happened, but I assume most of you probably don't, so you might have no idea what I'm going to be discussing here today. Recently, I found that once again, my art had been traced, stolen, and used without my permission, and at the time, without giving me any credit. Now, this isn't the first time I've had my work stolen, traced, or just used or re-uploaded without my permission. This has happened many times to me and always involves my Steven Universe fan art. I've never mentioned this on my YouTube channel before, but a few years ago, someone was on Amino impersonating me and uploading some Steven Universe fan art I had created for Halloween. That whole situation was incredibly frustrating and annoying because the people who ran the Steven Universe Amino community actually banned me from the community because they thought I was the one doing the impersonating. Of course, I made a post about it on my Facebook account. I was so mad at the time. I remember using a lot of profanity, which isn't like me, and I try not to swear in my videos or in places where I post my artwork, but that was how mad I was at the time. Eventually, a few very helpful people that I'm still thankful for today made a post about it in the Steven Universe Amino, and the admins reached out to me to apologize for their mistake. The person who was impersonating me basically started doing that panicky thing that art thieves do when they get caught, which is to block and delete comments, and eventually they were removed after being exposed for the pathetic thief they were. That was my first instance of something really terrible happening to me as far as art theft went. Over the years, I've had more of my Steven Universe art stolen and re-uploaded without my permission, or without any credit given, or just straight up copied or traced. This really started happening a lot when I made my Nora Universe fan art. I've always been a huge fan of the Fiona and Cake comic books and the designs done for the show. For those of you who aren't aware, Fiona and Cake are the gender-swapped alternate universe versions of Finn and Jake from Adventure Time. That said, even though I like the concept, I never really felt comfortable doing gender-swapped versions of the Crystal Gems, for instance, because I like the fact that they're all powerful women, and I kinda imagine even if their gender was different, I feel like they'd still pretty much look the same. However, around the time when Pink Diamond's full design was revealed, and she was also revealed to be Rose Quartz, Steven's mom, I couldn't help thinking that if Steven's gender was different, he would probably have hair kinda like hers, since Steven's hairs very much looks like hers as opposed to Rose Quartz, because that's how Rose really looks. With all that in mind, I decided to make this gender-swapped version of Steven, drawing inspiration from Natasha Allegri's design of Fiona with the stockings, Amethyst for the body type. I figured Steven's body wouldn't look the same, and I feel like Steven and Amethyst have similar body types, but Amethyst is just more feminine, if that makes sense. I also gave her shorts similar to the one Amethyst wears and a crop top so we could see her gem. And of course, Pink Diamond's hair, her pink poofy hair for Nora's made sense to me, and black instead of pink because Steven's hair is black, and I do think Steven's hair would still be black even if he was a girl. And that was how I came up with the design for Nora. And even though I believe the very first drawing I did of Nora is kinda ugly, a lot of people seemed to like it at a time, and I ended up doing more artwork of her over the years. Even though I liked the design, at one point I did decide to stop drawing her as often as I did because people kept re-uploading my art without my permission and tracing or copying her, and it was getting kind of annoying. And then of course this happened. When someone on Instagram reached out to me to tell me that Cartoon Network, yes, the official Cartoon Network, had traced my art for their most recent post on their Instagram account, I honestly thought they were messing with me. Why the hell would Cartoon Network, this huge company, trace my art? That's silly. But regardless, I went and I checked, I zoomed and enhanced and thought, no, I didn't draw that. It looked familiar, but the drawing was so old I didn't even remember drawing it. But regardless, I went and I looked through my old Instagram Nora arts, and I went to my most popular one and said, no, they didn't trace my artwork. These are two completely different drawings. I mean, the concept looks similar, but this is just Steven with big hair. But then I thought, didn't I have another Nora drawing? Turns out I actually had the drawing archived. Probably because, you know, I actually think it's a pretty ugly drawing. I hate admitting it, but I don't actually like the drawing. But anyway, I didn't see, you know, any drawing on my Instagram account that matched what Cartoon Network had posted, so I decided to do some Googling. Because I knew it was possible, I had just deleted the drawing because I didn't like it anymore. So anyway, I went online and I looked up Nora Universe fan art, and sure enough, that very first drawing that I did of Nora popped up from someone sharing it on Pinterest, I think. And I realized that, yes, they totally traced or at least edited and copied my drawing. I was so shocked that they had actually traced it, I didn't even know how to react. Because it was pretty obvious what they did, I just couldn't understand why. Like, why would a company do this? And I'm saying a company, but I'm pretty sure some person working for Cartoon Network who manages their Instagram did this. But even so, you work for this company. How are you going to trace fan art for an official company? And more importantly, why didn't you reach out and ask permission? And why didn't you credit me? Like, what kind of Butch Hartman nonsense is this? So at that point, I realized it was time to make a post about all this because it was pretty obvious that they had traced my work. There was no getting around that, and they had done so without my permission or even thinking to credit me, and that seems pretty messed up in my opinion. So I made these posts. On Twitter, I wrote, "Ever since I did this drawing of what I thought gender-swapped Steven would look like, people started tracing it left and right. I never thought an actual official company at Cartoon Network would do something like this though. Can I at least be credited?" Then I took a screenshot of that and I wrote on Instagram, typos and all, it's hashtag Ace Awareness Week, so I want to talk about the fact that at Cartoon Network official decided to show their support by stealing from a Black Arrow Ace woman. You know what I don't understand is why they had to fully trace the drawing. They could have just copied the design and no one would have noticed. Better yet, just ask Rebecca what Nora would actually look like. People fully think this design I came up with years ago is canon now. Now, I did receive some criticism about the way I worded my post on Instagram, with some people saying I was victimizing myself because I brought up the fact that I'm a Black Arrow Ace woman who Cartoon Network stole from in the middle of Ace Awareness Week. I really just brought that up because I thought it was ironic more than anything else. I mentioned this in my response to these people, but Cartoon Network very much brands itself as being very inclusive and queer friendly, so I found it pretty ironic that in their effort to push out their content, they ended up stealing from someone who is a part of groups that they present themselves as caring about. And right in the middle of Ace Awareness Week. It's just so ironic. I'd find it hilarious if I wasn't so upset about, you know, the art theft. And that's something these people saying I'm victimizing myself don't seem to care about. Something that's also interesting is the people pretty much saying that, you know, Cartoon Network definitely didn't trace my drawing at all, and it's obviously not traced. Now, I don't know if these people are blind or what, but I did find one comment particularly interesting because this person, they commented about me apparently victimizing myself, as they put it, and how they didn't think this was actually tracing. Cartoon Network definitely just took inspiration from my drawing or whatever. And that made me curious, you know, why they would say that. Like, are they just blind? I don't know. So I went on their account and I realized that this person literally sells products based on stuff they traced, edited, and or copied. So of course they're gonna say that this wasn't traced, or, you know, Cartoon Network didn't steal or trace my artwork, because how can they call out tracing and copying and editing when they take part in that themselves, when they profit off that themselves? Granted, I don't think they're actually tracing other artists' work, but they're still, you know, tracing and selling products that they traced, copied, or edited. And since that's the case, they're gonna defend people who do that as well. I mean, look at this. You have the time to sell Black Lives Matter keychains, but you give zero about a company stealing from a black creator. Anyway, besides a few bitter people embarrassing themselves, I actually got a lot of people supporting me and backing me up, which I really appreciated. To everyone who called our Cartoon Network and left nice comments and who followed just to show their support, thank you so much. A lot of these people mentioned that on Twitter and Instagram, Cartoon Network had started to delete their comments, calling them out, and had even blocked a few people, which, as I mentioned, is the typical thief behavior. Why is a company blocking people and deleting comments, calling them out for what they did? That's insane. All that said, they did reach out to me privately to apologize for the entire situation, and they went ahead and credited me as inspired by Sasha Kawaii Cat, which I don't think that's how that works, nor is that what happened here or why people are upset. Crediting me is one thing, which it's good that they did that, at least because that's what I asked for. But the main issue is you all traced and edited my work. You didn't ask permission and you didn't think to even credit me in the first place. And you only did so when you were called out. And to make matters worse, you credited me in a way that feels incredibly disingenuous. Inspired by? What? It's not like you guys took inspiration from my design and created a character based on that. That would be fine. What you did was trace my drawing. That's the part that's messed up. I made a few more posts updating my followers on the whole situation and how I felt about Cartoon Network's apology and response to me. And honestly, I still don't know how to feel about all this. People are saying I should sue, that they can't just get away with this, and I don't even know what I really want. I mostly just wish a company didn't steal from me in the first place. I don't know who within that company was responsible for this, but you could have just traced Steven and traced Pink Diamond's hair on his head and make it black. It's just Steven with Pink Diamond's hair. I don't know how busy you were or how quickly you needed to get this out, but you didn't have to steal fan art. Now I'm sitting here wondering if this person traced the chocolate bar as well. Anyway, this video is probably going to be a part 1 of a 2-part video because, like I said, Cartoon Network did reach out to me. I'm not going to give too much details or share any private messages, at least not until I have more information on whether or not they are really going to try and truly make amends for what they did to me. Based on how things play out, I'll update you all again with information as to how this all shakes out. Thank you for watching and sticking around to the end of the video, and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be the first to know when part 2 comes out. If you like my art and you'd like to show your support, you can always donate to my Ko-fi account. The link to that is in the description below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!